Tucson, Arizona's #1 online radio podcast about all things medical cannabis. Your host, Belle
and the Cannabis Kid. Our show features news, interviews, and all the latest information about anything and everything medical cannabis related to Tucson, Arizona.
You okay, Mama?
And the world at large.
We'd love to hear from you. Please give us a call live at 646-915-8421. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on all social media, or email dhctucson@gmail.com.
We'd like to thank Tumbleweeds Health Center and Studio C, along with our many sponsors, for hosting our show every week. With the lowest price service features in town, you'll find hemp products, accessories, and all things related to medical cannabis education.
Visit Tumbleweeds Health Center at 4826 East Broadway Boulevard or online at tumbleweedshealthcenter.com. And remember,
Be smart
be safe
and educate.
All right. Woohoo! Welcome to Weedsday Wednesday, everybody. Hi, Mama. What do you want now? She like sat on me, poked at my face all morning long, woke me up, got me out of bed, and I'm like, what? She's like, did you give me a bucket load of treats or something? What's your problem? No. All right. I will. Give me a minute. I always do. Welcome to Weedsday Wednesday, everybody. December 10th. Holy cow. Oh, my gosh. What was that? Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Weedsday Wednesday. Guess for the bestie. Guess how many days? Oh, no, not that. Guess how many days until Christmas? Oh, my Lord. 15 days until Christmas. 16 until it's over. For the bestie.
If you suffer from one of these
Oh,
medical
yep.
conditions and have been diagnosed
Absolutely.
by an Arizona licensed physician, medical cannabis may help relieve your symptoms. Tumbleweeds Health Center is Arizona's premier cannabis certification, health, and education center. Our primary focus is to help the patients of Arizona obtain their medical marijuana card and educate everyone about medical cannabis. With current medical records, approval is a simple process. Contact Tumbleweeds Health Center to see if you qualify for your Arizona medical marijuana card.
Are chronic conditions holding you back from a happy, healthy life? Get on the right track with Tumbleweeds Health Center. Our CBD products are formulated to fit your health lifestyle.
I would definitely say that CBD has changed my life. I mean, I don't worry about my dog anymore, and I don't worry about sleeping anymore.
Tumbleweeds Health Center, voted #1 health center in Tucson, has created a proprietary number of CBD blends, each designed to promote health and well-being. Let Tumbleweeds Health Center show you how CBD products might help you improve your life the natural way.
Yeah. Give us a call. 520-838-4430. We actually have moved into our baby shop, the Good Leaf at 6224 East Speedway Boulevard. Come on down and get certified. Come on down and check out our beautiful hemp and CBD products and CBC and CBN and CBG and all the CBs. And we've got some mushrooms down there that are fantastic. They're called Road Trip. And boy, do you go on a little road trip. Yeah, it's magic. Man, I laughed solid for seriously 3.5 to 4 hours. Just everything was hysterical. It's good for your abs. Tell you that much. All right. Yeah. Well, welcome to Weedsday Wednesday, December 10th, 15 days until Christmas. What is everybody doing for the holiday? Oh, my goodness. There we go. Turned up the brightness on my computer. Now I can see things. Whew. Sometimes I had turned it actually turned itself down because I put stickers over the camera because You just didn't want to see this morning. Whew, nobody does. For sure. All right. Open hour. Merry Christmas. Merry everything. Merry high. Get high. Very high, merry high. All right. We miss you on the show. Tell your boss that that's it. This coming year, you one of your conditions in your new contract is you have to be able to listen to Weedsday Wednesday. I think it'll work. Or you can just come to the States and move in here. All right. Well, let's see what's going on in the world of weed. I do want to read, I am going to read to you the conditions that you can get your certification for in the great state of Arizona. If you are anywhere in the state now, it doesn't matter. You can call us up or email us at thctucson, because that's where we are, at gmail.com. You can get on the website at tumbleweedshealthcenter.com and check out the certification section. If you want to do telemedicine, that's where this comes in handy. Just fill out the form here. That's what it says. Fill out form here. Takes you to our calendar, and then you just it takes you to our intake form for the telemedicine appointment. Fill out the form and upload the documents it asks for, and then we will call you and send you a link to an email. It's very simple. You can use your phone, you can use your tablet, you can use your computer, you can use your big screen monitor or TV, however you do it. Have somebody help you. It's pretty simple, but if you're not tech savvy, you have to get on Google. I think you have to create a very simple account. I think they ask just for your name and your email. It's very easy. But these are the conditions that you can get your card for in Arizona. And even if you don't hear your condition here, don't worry, because we probably can still get you your card, because if your condition or the treatment that you're going through causes any of these conditions, then we can definitely get you your card. Okay, PTSD, that's the one you have to have a note from your doctor every year. I think it's your psychiatrist that is able to diagnose you, and you have to have a note for that. The next one is cancer, glaucoma, AIDS. You will most likely have seen a doctor if you have a diagnosis of most of these conditions. Chronic pain covers a whole host of conditions, from fibromyalgia, migraines, IBS, leg cramps, menstrual cramps, all sorts of cramps, just any pain that's over 2 months. Severe nausea, seizures, all seizures, including epilepsy, HIV, Hep C, ALS, Crohn's disease, agitation of Alzheimer's, cachexia, or wasting syndrome, severe and persistent muscle spasms, including multiple sclerosis. I want to say that if you didn't hear your condition, but it causes anything on this list, then you can get your card completely.
Are chronic conditions holding you back from a happy, healthy life? Get on the right track with Tumbleweeds Health Center. Our CBD products are formulated to fit your health lifestyle.
I would definitely say that CBD has changed my life. I mean, I don't worry about my dog anymore, and I don't worry about sleeping anymore.
Tumbleweeds Health Center, voted #1 health center in Tucson, has created a proprietary number of CBD blends, each designed to promote health and well-being. Let Tumbleweeds Health Center show you how CBD products might help you improve your life the natural way.
Yep.
Our chronic
Yep, they are. Give us a call, 520-838-4430. Or you can just come on down to 6224 East Speedway Boulevard. We are inside the Good Leaf. And we have doctors Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 to 6. We are open 6 days a week and sometimes Sunday. I'm going to say that. We try to be there on Sundays. Sundays is a hit or miss kind of day for everybody. Sometimes it's a great day. Sometimes it's just slow, but that's okay. Alrighty then, let's see what's going on in the world of weed. And actually, I have a video that I want to play And it's quite long, actually. Maybe let's see if there's anything interesting to read in anything new. I went to our local Arizona source, didn't find much new there. Oh boy, here's just something interesting. Holy cow, exclusive. U.S. basketball star avoids death penalty in Indonesia after court rules in THC gummy case. Uh-oh. For 7 months, American athlete Jared Shaw sat inside Indonesia's prison system, wondering whether a package of THC gummies sent from Thailand would cost him his life. On Tuesday, an Indonesian court sentenced the 35-year-old to 26 months. The decision marks a sharp departure from the death penalty framework that police and prosecutors had floated earlier in the case. According to humanitarian advocate and international justice negotiator Dante West, who shared the verdict directly with High Times, the ruling reflects an uncommon acknowledgement of medical context inside Indonesia's narcotics courts. Shaw uses THC products to manage symptoms of Crohn's disease, a chronic condition that he has spoken about publicly throughout his career. Quote, "This is a major step forward globally," West said. Jared was wrongfully pushed toward a death penalty narrative over THC gummies used for medical treatment. Today's outcome gives him a fighting chance to return home, receive proper medical care, and be reunited with his family. Quote, Shaw's arrest in May followed the delivery of a package authorities said contained THC-infused gummies. Indonesian officials initially accused him of trafficking, a classification that can carry the country's most severe penalties. Early briefings to local media framed Shaw as a distributor rather than a patient. Today's verdict tells a different story. The court did not apply trafficking enhancement. The shift in sentencing reflects new weight given to medical evidence and Shaw's documented Crohn's disease. High Times reviewed direct communications between Shaw's attorney and the advocacy team, confirming the court's decision and the medical findings presented during the process. Attorney Richard Saragar told High Times that medical verification played a critical role. Quote, "We confirmed Jared's medical condition and assessed the severity of his Crohn's disease. This was a medical examination. We also communicated with the U.S. Embassy, and they expressed surprise that Jared was able to be taken to Abdi Waluyo Hospital. They told me it was extraordinary that Dante was able to secure Jared's transfer to that facility. In cases like this, such access is extremely rare. The U.S. Embassy in Jakarta took the unusual step of providing humanitarian support for an active criminal case. According to West, the embassy's involvement centered on treatment access, due process, and human rights considerations. High Times reviewed messages showing embassy officials were in communication with Shaw's team and aware of key medical developments. Shaw also shared a statement, quote, "I am grateful for everyone fighting for me. I used CBD to treat my medical condition. Without Dante guiding the legal team, I'm not sure if the Indonesian court would have accepted me being a user, not a distributor of narcotics. I'm thankful for the support of Jolly, my family, Sulius, and the embassy, along with the law office of LHS and partners. I have nothing but respect and honor for the Indonesian legal system," quote. Yeah. Under Indonesian law, Shaw may qualify for remission credits, medical parole, or other pathways to early release. His legal team is preparing medical evaluations as part of the next phase in the process. The case highlights how quickly foreign nationals can move from everyday life to catastrophic legal stakes in countries with aggressive narcotic laws. It also underscores the growing tension between medical cannabis use and punitive drug frameworks. For West, no. Got some sort of pop-up. For West, the verdict is both relief and a reminder of the broader landscape. Quote, Jared was facing the most extreme penalties in a system that rarely bends. He said this sentence gives him a real chance to go home. Quote, Shaw's case joins a growing list of international cannabis detentions involving Americans who cross borders unaware of stark legal differences. A medical gummy in one country can become a capital offense in another. This verdict forces that contrast into focus and raises new questions about how cannabis derivatives are treated under Southeast Asian narcotic laws. Holy cow, that made me sweat. Dude, you are lucky. Oh my gosh. That is just severe luck. And hopefully maybe not. Maybe they're doing research there or whatever, but myself, I got busted by the U.S. Postal Service just for shipping. No, I think I did have some weed in there. No, maybe it's just CBD. Maybe it's both. Anyway, I shipped some weed, or I tried to New York, from here to another medical patient, and I got caught, and I got a crazy letter in the mail, and I have that somewhere. I have never done it since. And that's just in this country. I know everyone's like, what? You big old sissy. I know. I just don't want to pay some fines and have that on my permanent record. They used to tell us that in school. This is going to go down on your permanent record. Oh man. And that does. Oh, you're listening to Weedsday Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. We've been doing this for over 13 years. Yeah. Cray. And awesome. I think I would like to start the PBS special that's all about cannabis. It's called Cannabis Question by Nova. Season 48, episode 11. It's 53 minutes. We'll have to continue it next week, but I thought I'd start it. Let's see. Maybe there's another quick news article I could read we were reading from High Times. Let's see. Is a MAGA-aligned think tank using the hemp ban to advance a new federal war on cannabis? Yeah, probably. Who knows? I mean, every president that gets in there, before they get in there, they promise to reschedule or deschedule. Yeah, I don't know. And a lot of them have done this, and we're still waiting because we're still in this current president's first year, anyway. Not first term, first year. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. We're waiting. We've been in this almost 15 years. Yeah, that's a long time. But we thought then we were saying it would take 10 to 20 years. And this was in 2011. When we started this journey. Well, we started the journey before that, but getting ready for it anyway. But we thought, yeah, it's going to be about 10 to 20 years before they figure out how to do it. Well, we're in year 15, so we're right in the middle of that. And I think we're still on target for that, actually. I think it will in the next 5 years or so. We'll see who is the next president after this one. And we'll see if this one actually does what he said, or any sort of part of what he said he would do. So, all right, let's see. World Organization officially recognizes weed-linked vomiting disorder. Chill pups. CBD may help reduce aggression in dogs. We know about that. Static sift. What's next for hash heads? Here's Static sift. What is that? I love hash. What's going on? Look at all those trichomes. Ooh, hash heads. Wow, there is just, oh my gosh, that is a cool picture. It's a micro photo of the THC molecules in hash. Oh my God, that's awesome. Okay, coming out of the hash contests of Spain, oh my gosh, so-called static dry sift promises a hit that's the soul of the plant, unadulterated by even water as a solvent. Ooh, you can make a version of it at home during trimming, and the big hash labs on the international medical stage are deploying static filtration machines costing up to $250,000. The final product can sell for more than the price of gold per gram. Right now, it's $126 a gram. Woo! Go gather your gold, kids. David Poley, founder of the award-winning preferred, formerly Preferred Gardens in California, told me in Los Angeles this October, quote, "All the guys want my trim to make static. It's huge in Europe right now. It's going crazy," quote. Dan Egan, founder of Happy Dreams Genetic, just sent a crop of Humboldt County, California outdoor to static processing. Quote, "For the people who love fresh, frozen, live rosin, the next step after is full melt static. This just seems like the 2025 new way that's really catching on among the top hash makers in Europe and a few in California as well," Egan said. "It's ascendant," said iconic Canadian growing figure breeder Steve. Nobody had been pushing high-end sifting tech. 2025 has been our strongest year to date, said a spokesperson for leading brand Static Room in Los Angeles, winner of 7 medals this year. Making hash or cannabis extract from sifting dried flower buds on a screen goes back millennia. In places like Pakistan and Morocco, scientists and naturalists have also known about the mysterious force of static electricity for millennia. Every kid has rubbed a balloon on their head and made their hair stand up. Yes, indeed. And if you haven't, kids, go get a balloon right now. Do it. Do it. Get a couple and just rub the crap out of your head. It's awesome. So you can imagine that along the way, some hash makers figured out that a static charge had the power to separate the good stuff that gets you high, the external plant glands, aka trichome heads, from the stuff that doesn't. The web is full of experts commenting that they've been making static dry sift for decades, and there's nothing new here. Sam the Skunk Man is said to have promoted it in 1988 after noticing the principle of it in Africa. But static is surging at the forefront of global hash under legalization and industrialization. It's surging. The techniques are spreading algorithmically on social networks. New devices can create static sift hash at scale. Licensed dispensaries are stocking it for the first time, and consumer awareness is flickering to life. Oh my gosh, I can't even handle this. We are going to get some static hash. We're going to make it. Forget it. We're going to make it. Oh, look how beautiful that looks. Go to one of the leading hash contests, the Ego Clash, in the most important city for it, Barcelona, Spain, and sit at the top table. You'll find static sift full melt. The head table is all static, said Egan. According to one expert, the #1 solventless product in New York's legal market in 2024 was a static sift temple ball called Full Moon Hash, made by the company Hudson. Have you ever used a magnet to pull the iron fillings out of some sand when you were a kid? Yep, that was fun too. That same principle of attraction can refine keef. Oh, kids, I am so excited right now. I have so much weed I want to turn into keef or hash. Here we go. We hope you paid attention in middle school science, because this hash purification technique exploits 2 principles. That would be 1, rubbing anything generates a static charge with a positive and negative end. And 2, trichome heads are an acidic oil attracted to one charge, the stalks and leaf matter attracted to the other. Since opposites attract, you can use a positive and negative static charge to separate the heads from the debris. Oh my gosh, this is insane. Wait, what's dry sift? Liberating trichomes. Dry sift hash sounds like what it is. You chop and dry your flower buds. You sift these buds through a big screen, 250 micron stainless steel mesh to remove out most of the leaf. Then you sift again through a lower 74 micron mesh screen to filter out the fine particulates. And right now, I am going to post this on our blog chat and put that there for the folks in the world. Oh my gosh. Open hour, you got to see this. Holy cow. Boom. You just made dry shift. According to a 2025 Journal of Cannabis Research paper, quote, the result is a powder known as keef or hash. It contains glandular and other types of trichomes, pistils, trichome stalks, pollen, dirt, and fine particles of plant material with particle size distribution from 74 to 220 microns. There's one key fact. Dry sifting works best in places that are cool, 55 degrees Fahrenheit, and low humidity, like the mountains of Pakistan and Morocco in winter, or Canada, Colorado, and the California high desert. When it's hot and humid, dry sifting doesn't work as well because the waxy, oily trichomes get sticky and can melt. Moisture in the air also gums up the process. Oh, it is a perfect time to dry sift in Tucson right now. I am so freaking excited. Time to electrostatically process those trichomes, heads versus tails. Static sifting can be as easy as swishing your keef around in a plastic bucket. The plastic has a static charge, and the leaf will stick to the sides while the heads collect in the bottom, Breeder Steve said. This down and dirty method also works with the popular trimming tray that has a screen in the bottom to filter keef. Don't scrape to collect keef that's filtered in the bottom bin after trimming. Gently knock the bin side while tilting the bin to a corner. The trash will stick to the plastic sides using static attraction, while the pure trichome heads will roll to the corner. Collect the heads and boom, you just made some down and dirty static dry shift. Oh, awesome. I really like the simplicity of it, said Breeder Steve, who estimated he first made some 25 years ago after rubbing a balloon on his head and passing it over some dry shift. Dry sift. Repeat static passes can boost purity from 50% trichomes to 60, 70, 80, and higher. How the pros make static dry sift 6-star full metal bubble hash. Oh, this is great. Generally speaking, the more you sift, the purer the pile of hash heads becomes. When the pile is 99% trichome heads, it's considered 6-star full melt bubble hash because of the way it bubbles and melts when you apply heat and leaves almost no trace behind. The pros generally make static sift with large commercial-sized screens and stacked atop one another to separate the trash from the trichome heads. They use the static on their latex gloved hands to isolate the heads and brush them off into a collection bowl. Or they use a latex glove blown up like a balloon and pass that over the sift pile to attract the heads and collect those. They also use special cold, dry, clean rooms running air conditioning, dehumidifiers, and filters to create an optimal space to filter their hash. My gosh, I can't even handle that, how good that is. Up at scale. Up next, making static dry sift at scale. You know what? We will read that after we come back from our break. I am so excited. I'm going to pull out all my weed now and sift away. Oh my gosh, I can't. That's just awesome. But before that, let's do this, our favorite.
I'm gonna smoke some weed. I got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunting, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome.
Walk into my house like, what up? I got some good pop. I'm just pumped up, got some herb from the pop shop. Ice in my fridge, it used to be frosty. My friends like, damn, that's a stoned ass donkey. Rolling in hella high, looking like it's FIFA time. Dominating all my friends as I eat some chili fries. Draped through the snuggie with my girl sitting next to me. Probably shouldn't have had a big gulp full of iced tea. Piss. But shit, it was 99 cents. I'll be blazing and smoking, about to go and get some munchies. Passing up on those cracker jacks, Reese's Pieces are where it's at. Gotta get me some soda pop. Cotton mouth has been creeping up. I can't remember where I put my keys. Yeah, that's what's up. I'ma take your grandpa's ride. No, for real. Ask your grandpa, can I take a 65 to Bill cruising to my local Publix? Nothing better than rolling with two super fly chicks. They have frozen burritos. I bought frozen burritos. I bought some Ben and Jerry's, and then I bought some Cheetos. Hello, my main man Obama. A couple states have just reformed their laws on marijuana. What you gonna do? Send the feds there? Hell no. The DPAs will be like, they got volcano.
I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunting, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome. I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunting, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome.
What you know about the science of marijuana? What you know about people suffering from glaucoma? They need it, it helps them with their condition. If you don't believe me, then just ask some eye physicians. Thank your granddad for voting for that guy. Richard Nixon is the president who made the plant illegal. But science is now showing that it's medicine for people, and the private sector's fighting to keep all of that illegal. Alcohol and tobacco, pharmaceutical prisons. I'll take those 4 major lobby groups and fight those motherfuckers. They're making money day and night, all those motherfuckers. And bribing Congress out of sight, all those motherfuckers. They'd be like, oh, it's immoral and unhealthy. I'm like, how many people are you making wealth? Anti-marijuana lobbies are making all kinds of profits, and they don't want you to stop because of all the specialty interest. I call that getting swindled and PM shit. I call that getting tricked by the government. That laws update it, regulate it, and then get it under state control. Peak game, look into my political telescope. Think it's gonna stay like this forever? Not hella won't. Not hella won't. Hey, Obama, stop being a hypocrite. You used to smoke weed.
I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunting, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome. Let's end the war on drugs. It's time to pull the plug. These special interest groups are nothing more than corporate thugs. Let's end the war on weed. The people have agreed. These special interest groups have put these laws with bribery. I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunting, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome.
Welcome back to Weedsday Wednesday, folks. Okay. I am so excited about this hash that we're going to make. I think we should just make it as a family and have a family hash day. It would be magical. Static hash. That's what we're talking about, kids. Static hash. I am totally, well, I can't even, I may have already been making it. So I've got this grinder. Silver Sister bought it for me like years ago. Yep. And it's got this plastic bowl, which I was like, you put your weed in it, and then you grind it up. And it separates because of the plastic probably and the static. It separates the the keef that it creates. And when I pour the ground up weed in my other grinder, which has a little screen that I use to sift out my keef, it separates. And I dump that out. I dump out the leafy stuff, and then all the keef's in there. So I've got a little micro sifting happening over here. Kind of nice. All right, you're listening to Weedsday Wednesday. Welcome back. Let's see. There's there's actually quite a bit more to read about the sifting. Static at scale. We were reading about making hash the static way. Egan said that as the fresh frozen live rosin segment has exploded, now people are starting to go, well, we've been running live rosin for a bunch of years. What's next? The answer? People in cold rooms wearing snowsuits with HEPA filters, hair nets, and gloves. We all thought that would never go to scale, but now I get friends like, dude, I got like 10 flavors. I got 5,000 kilos of static, said Egan. In March of 2025, the first research paper on static dry sift at scale appeared in the Journal of Cannabis Research. Electrostatic separator of cannabis trichomes, an innovative approach to extraction. That's pretty cool. Might read that. The 9-year-old Miami, Florida company Sambo Creek appears to be the first to market with a tabletop unit, the Plasmatic V1 in 2023 to separate heads from tails. Sambo Creek CEO Charles McGowan said 20 labs across the world use his devices, which start at $35,000 each. One person can make about a kilo of static sift per day. That same person with a plasmatic device can make 8 kilos a day. You can dab pure dry sift just like rosin in a quartz banger or slurper. You can sprinkle it on flour in a joint. You can press the or bake it into edibles. Breeder Steve said the flavor is unadulterated and unstripped. You can get such a clean representation of the plant. There's absolutely no solvent involved. That's what I like. Happy Dreams Dan said that buds dried out into cured flowers have a more authentic nose that connoisseurs prefer. Los Angeles Static Room spokesperson says sift should be dabbed at low temperatures or gently sprinkled over clean flour. It melts slowly and evenly, revealing full spectrum flavors and tasty layers. Our product offers vibrant flavor, a crying melt, and a crystal clear high. The high is typically lucid, uplifting, and balanced, leaving you feeling elevated rather than heavy. Static Room tells High Times, shopping for static dry sift. It's still a rarity on licensed dispensary menus, sometimes found in Colorado or Canada, where the climate is right to make it. You're most likely to encounter traditional stores online and in the wild. The next frontier includes specific strains that make the shape and type of trichome optimal for dry sifting and static. Typical indica hash plants tend to excel. Delicious fits the bill. Up next, finding sativa strains that work with static tech. I'm on the hunt for the static sativa, which has been very hard to get to, Egan said. In static, they want specifically the larger heads, 120 micron, on long stalks. Sambo Creek will debut a $1,000 plasmatic unit for homegrowers at MJ BizCom in December in Las Vegas and host classes on static dry sift applications. Research is going into making plasmatic devices bigger as well as smaller and boosting purity from 98% past 99%. Artisan sifters still have the edge, McGowan said. We can't do what they do. There's so much to learn. You have no idea. As the price of flour plummets, biomass becomes a cheaper input for making value-added products, including dry sift. It's a new profit center for producers. Quote, it's another step where you can recoup some money for the crop, Egan said. That means price should come down and be within reach for mere mortals. And the next hash craze, I believe the best way to extract Hasn't even been formulated yet, said Egan. All right. Well, there you go. Dry sifting. Looks, I can't wait to try it myself. Golf clap for dry sifts. All right. I did want to play a little of the PBS special that Nova created. The link expires in 2028, maybe because they'll do a new one. So this is, it says, as state legalized cannabis spreads, Nova explores its little known risks and benefits. So this is PBS. Take it with a grain of salt or with a trichome of weed.
Join me every Friday night for a lively roundtable discussion of the top news stories from Southern the press room.
We'll be able to skip this in just a second. That's it. The press room. If you want to watch that, I have nothing to do with the press room. Oh boy, wow. They won't even let us turn the ad down. So I'm sorry. You're just going to have to listen to me over the Carlisle ad about, looks like, energy. Ooh, looks, there's geese. Oh, net zero. We'll see. Come on. There we go. PBS. See what they have to say. This program contains content which may not be suitable for all audiences. Whatever that.
A multi-billion-dollar industry is moving from the illicit market into our daily lives, creating a stark divide.
In a country where people are talking about its medical use, someone gets arrested for cannabis every 68 seconds.
A plan demonized to arrest millions, now marketed as a medicine.
My son had a devastating form of epilepsy, and a cannabis compound gave him a life.
How does the vast array of chemicals in cannabis engage a mysterious system in our bodies?
The cannabinoid receptor is the most abundant receptor in the brain.
How a single system can influence so many biological processes is surprising.
Will regular, even daily use cure us or hurt us?
If someone were to tell me that I was dependent on marijuana, I would have said, no way, absolutely no.
Smoke, dab, vape, and even today's cannabis is hyperpotent and far from understood.
These products are coming online much faster than we can actually research them.
As federal law blocks science, an unintended public health experiment is underway.
Really, the questions are, for what conditions is it beneficial, and for what conditions is it harmful? It's not black and white, and it's complicated.
What's the right dose? Who should use cannabis? Who shouldn't?
It is a highly contentious subject, but it's not about your personal thoughts or feelings. What does the data tell us? What does the science tell us? Truth through science. We should know the answers.
The Cannabis Question. Right now on Nova.
Should know the answers, and we're learning them, and there are already a lot of answers, and we're learning a lot more. All right. Check it out. All right. Nova Science Trust, made possible for you, for viewers like you.
More than 80 years after America ended one type of prohibition, it's ending another. Majority of people now live in a state where cannabis is legal. As a multi-billion-dollar industry rises, our country is at a crossroads.
Cannabis is genuinely one of the most fascinating discussion topics I've ever seen because of how emotionally polarizing it is amongst people. And it's very strange because the entire field of cannabis science is very poorly developed. There's not been a lot of research, and there's a lot of things that we don't understand. And yet, what we have in society is groups of people that very fervently believe it is this panacea that can cure any disease that exists, or it's the devil's grass and it's going to cause the downfall of society. Not recognizing that the reality of cannabis is somewhere in the middle.
The Cannabis Question. Who's it in the middle for? Weedsday Wednesday, but you're listening to a PBS special. I'm going to put this on our blog as well. Not our blog, but our...
Americans everywhere are turning to cannabis, seeking relief from a wide range of ailments, including veterans like Sean Worsley, who uses cannabis to treat his post-traumatic stress disorder caused by combat in Iraq.
Our sole purpose was to clear the routes for supply convoys that came through, looking for roadside bombs that were on the route. I was on a mission, and we rode over a hole that was in the center of the road, and unfortunately it was a IED that went off, knocking me unconscious. And when I woke up, the medic was in my face asking me, was I okay? Could I hear him?
After his tour, Sean struggled with a traumatic brain injury and disturbing symptoms caused by PTSD.
For me, it's paranoia, insomnia, seeing things that aren't necessarily there. Shadow people, as they call them. Terrors, dreams, but these nightmares were very realistic. If I was shot in the dream, I would wake up grabbing my chest because I felt the pain.
Sean's medications for PTSD had troubling side effects, so he got a medical cannabis card.
Cannabis at a low dose can help reduce anxiety, relax someone, and individuals who have PTSD that newly initiate cannabis use report it being life-changing. So I can sleep for the first time in 2 years, and I can go to the grocery store without being so intense and on edge. That's why individuals with PTSD heavily gravitate towards cannabis use.
For thousands of years, humans have cultivated cannabis for its fiber, seeds, and medicinal properties. Ancient Hindu texts claim it was brought by the god Shiva for the pleasure of humanity. The plant contains over 400 chemicals, including cannabinoids, which are most abundant in the resin glands of budding female plants. In the 1960s, Israeli scientist Raphael Mechoulam isolated THC, a psychoactive cannabinoid that makes users feel high. The discovery launched a new chapter in neuroscience.
Cannabis opened the window into the functioning of our body. Completely unexpected window, because what was discovered was that THC binds to receptors in the brain and outside the brain. And when it does so, when it binds to these receptors, the cells now behave differently.
Cannabinoid receptors, named after cannabis, are found on nearly every organ in the body. They bind with our own cannabis-like molecules called endocannabinoids, which regulate functions like sleep, cognition, memory, and mood. Unlike other brain chemicals, they travel backwards across the synapse, where they control the release of most neurotransmitters.
One of the most amazing things that happened was the discovery of the endocannabinoid system. Every mammal has one. And this is a system of chemicals and receptors throughout the brain and body. And really, the primary goal of the endocannabinoid system is homeostasis, keeping things in balance.
At Mount Sinai Hospital, neuroscientist Yasmin Hurd remembers the first time she looked for cannabinoid receptors in the human brain. Seen here in vivid red, orange, and yellow colors.
The cannabinoid receptor is the most abundant receptor in the brain. When we looked at where these receptors were expressed, they're expressed in brain regions relevant for motor coordination, cognition, memory, emotional regulation, reward, All of these brain areas are key to so many normal behaviors, obviously, but also psychiatric disorders as well.
A key role of the endocannabinoid system is to manage stress. In fact, the first endocannabinoid found in our body was given a Sanskrit name, anandamide, meaning bliss.
In response to stress, our body mobilizes an endocannabinoid signal. And so if something aversive happens to us and we suddenly see a threat in front of us, our body kind of goes into a high alert mode and we shoot up. Once we've been removed from that threat, though, our body needs to turn that stress response back off. And what we have learned is that this burst of endocannabinoids that occurs in response to stress is really critical for that recovery phase.
Scientists suspect this signal goes awry in people with PTSD. And that's why THC, which mimics our own endocannabinoids, might help.
And so when you look at individuals that have PTSD and use cannabis, in short-term trials, you see very beneficial outcomes. But if all they do is use cannabis and they don't engage in other behavior therapies to help work through their trauma, they're not treating the root cause of the disorder. And it's important to recognize that THC at higher doses increases anxiety.
Cannabis is not a miracle. Nothing is a miracle. And so really the questions are, for what conditions is it beneficial, and for what conditions is it harmful, and for whom is it beneficial, and for whom is it harmful? So it's shades of gray. It's not black and white, and it's complicated.
In 1996, cannabis was legalized in California for medical use. But federally, it remains a Schedule I drug, like heroin, making research difficult and leaving patients like Elizabeth Pinkham on their own. To cope with her cancer treatments, Elizabeth has turned to cannabis.
When you go through chemotherapy, there are side effects that can be like nauseousness. You may have lots of appetite. You may have difficulty sleeping. So I was looking for something that wasn't another big, heavy-duty pharmaceutical.
On display, one can find cannabis-infused teas, sodas, candies, bath salts, psychoactive body washes, and flour with THC that can ease nausea when smoked.
The effects are pretty immediate. I've definitely got my appetite back a little bit more. It also helps with neuropathy, which is like the numbness in your fingers and your toes.
This is super medicinal. You see how like dark and dense that is? That's indicating more of the indica family. Good for the body, good for pain.
My staff needs to do the best that they can to try and guide people to the products that are going to serve them the best. But my staff, they're not trained doctors. And really, we should have cannabis medicine being taught in every single medical school across the United States. And that's not happening now because of federal law.
It's really a voter-approved, quote-unquote, medicine. So people say, oh, there's medical cannabis that's approved. It has not been. It has not gone through FDA rigorous research process. And that's what's critical for medicine.
I think it would be great if there was a bit more science behind this, but I think in the meantime, you have to do what works for you. You have to figure this out as you go.
But it's challenging. Scientists aren't sure whether cannabis sativa, indica, and ruderalis are distinct species. Most cultivars grown today are hybrids. They have distinct chemicals called terpenes, which create flavors and smells. And in addition to THC, the plant contains over 100 other cannabinoids. One, called CBD, is flooding the market.
1 in 7 adults in the United States are using CBD. You see CBD everywhere. You see it in the pet stores. You see it at Bed Bath & Beyond, at Whole Foods. And so there's a multi-billion-dollar industry that's built on this plant And there are all these different hypotheses of what these different chemicals can do to help us. But these products are coming online much faster than we can actually research them.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Despite CBD's availability today, it took a group of determined parents to bring it to market. One quest began in Palo Alto, California, where Stanford neuroscientist Catherine Jacobson set out to treat her son Ben's epilepsy.
Watching your child have a seizure is really, really scary. It's awful, right? It's awful because you know that brain damage is happening. The kids get scared, they get confused. And with uncontrolled epilepsy, we all live with this fear that they're going to die.
About a third of epilepsy patients don't respond to medications. Catherine knew the longer Ben's seizures continued, the less likely they'd be controlled.
Could you just give him medicine?
And she was not alone. In Berkeley, California, her friends Fred Vogelstein and Evelyn Newsenbaum also felt powerless to control their son Sam's epilepsy.
I mean, the thing about seizures that most people don't realize is that there are dozens of different kinds. So the kind of seizure that most people know about are the grand mal seizures, where you just lie on the ground and like start flopping. The other seizure that a lot of people know about are staring spells. Sam had a version of those seizures because he would go unconscious for like 15 seconds.
When anyone has a seizure, you could compare it to an electrical storm or an overtaxed electrical grid. We all have electricity in our brains. And when someone has a seizure, the electricity becomes irregular.
Every single drug we tried didn't control the seizures, and some of them had pretty nasty side effects.
One time he had hallucinations and thought he had holes in his skin and there were bugs crawling out of them. I thought we were going to have to take him to the psych ward.
And then there were all the medicines that made him a zombie.
Then they stumbled across research suggesting cannabis might quell seizures.
I knew nothing about cannabis, but I did some research and I found out that obviously there are many different chemicals in cannabis. The two most prominent are CBD and THC. We know that THC makes people high. CBD doesn't do that. Really? And so my preference was, of course, to try CBD first.
CBD doesn't bind to cannabinoid receptors directly, but its presence seems to reduce the impact of THC. It also increases levels of anandamide, our bliss molecule, and interacts with receptors like serotonin, which affect our mood. Yet in 2011, it was hard to find extracts high in CBD.
That's true.
And so we would get these vials, and sometimes they would work a little bit, and then the next vial wouldn't work. So after probably 6 to 8 months of doing this and seeing no benefit to Ben, I just said, look, I'm going to make my own.
Oh, sweet.
When Sam first took Catherine Jacobson's CBD tincture, it was clear as day his seizures were going down immediately. Unfortunately, Catherine only had enough for 5 days.
Oh.
So we had this incredible 5-day stretch, and then we ran out.
CBD also helped Catherine's son, Ben. But her next batch of tinctures were too weak to use.
Drug companies get a lot of abuse for their marketing tactics, but the one thing that they do really, really well is they make every pill exactly the same.
Alrighty. Well, folks, we have just made it to the end of Weedsday Wednesday. So thank you for tuning in. That is actually quite an interesting little PBS Nova special on cannabis. I'm excited to just listen to it on my own and hear what they have to say. Very interesting. Thanks for tuning in each week to Weedsday Wednesday. Belle Star here, Cannabis Kids out there somewhere. So, Silver Sister, we will see you. Remember, there's only 15 days until Christmas and 16 days until it's over. As always, be smart, be safe, and educate. Happy Weedsday Wednesday, kids. Have a great day. Smoke a bong. Get some of that dry sifting. Woo! Happy Weedsday Wednesday!
If you suffer from one of these medical conditions,